From censored files to clear evidence, this is Redacted Realms.
Hair-raising stories from the grave exhumation profession. Grave exhumation is an extremely special profession that not everyone can do. A profession that requires an extremely strong spirit and must be an exceptionally courageous person. Not only to see the corpses of the dead, but also to face spiritual phenomena that science cannot explain. So, during their work, how terrifying can the stories of grave exhumer encounter be? Let's explore with D2T. So what is grave exhumation? Grave exhumation is one of the important rituals in Vietnam's ancient funeral culture. Accordingly, when necessary or depending on cultural circumstances, the deceased's family will pick up reburial by cleaning the remains of the deceased, transferring them from the old coffin to a small coffin, and burying them in a more beautiful place. Mr. Chien, a grave exhumer with 30 years of experience, recounted that during an exhumation for a family of a very young deceased person in Quang Thanh, a grave that had been buried for 6 years, it was late at night, around 1 a.m., quiet and deserted. The family took him and a ritual master to the grave area to perform the ceremony. However, before the auspicious hour, Mr. Chien had to wait until 3 a.m. During the long wait, Mr. Chien grew tired and dozed off. Just as he was falling into a light sleep, he suddenly heard the voice of a young man whispering beside, "Don't dig me up, my body is still intact." Terrified, Mr. Chien jolted awake. He told the homeowner about that frightening dream, and upon hearing it, they became extremely worried. However, the ritual master still insisted that the young man's body had completely decomposed and could definitely be exhumed. But then, an extremely horrifying thing happened. When he opened the coffin lid, the scene of the young man's body was still intact, like a living person sleeping right before their eyes. All the family members, some cried out in fear, some fainted on the spot. Others couldn't stand settling, and some even ran straight into the house. The most memorable exhumation for Mr. Chien was certainly when he performed a reburial for an elderly lady from the Tu Nan area in Khoi Chau Province. The lady had passed away 8 years ago, and the whole family had consulted 3 masters, all of whom confirmed that reburial was possible. But when he arrived and opened the coffin lid, the person inside was still intact as if sleeping, witnessing those things. However, due to the nature of the job, he had to continue. He took out a rope, jumped into the pit, tied the deceased's hands, and hung them on a banana tree right next to the grave. Then, with a knife in hand, he sliced off pieces of flesh from the body. Mrs. Lan, also a longtime grave exhumer, had witnessed countless strange occurrences. When she agreed to exhume a grave for a family in a neighboring commune, while passing by an adjacent grave, she felt as if someone was pulling her leg, preventing her from moving forward. Frightened on the spot, it took a few minutes and calling for help from nearby people before she could continue. After finishing the work for the homeowner, she didn't dare pass by that mysterious grave again. But when she returned home, a face that was no longer intact appeared in her dream. The girl looked at her painfully, pleading for help, saying her house had collapsed, her entire body had been gnawed by rats, her limbs were almost gone, and she begged her to tell her family to move her to a new home. After waking up, even though she knew it was a dream, her belief in the dream did not fade. Immediately, Mrs. Lan decided to hurriedly write to the neighboring commune to share with the family of the special grave that the dream had indicated. Faced with the ominous warning, the relatives decided to perform an exhumation ceremony hoping for the liberation of the departed soul. When the exhumation hour arrived, everyone watched Mrs. Lan's every move with anticipation and anxiety. Every shovel turned, every broken coffin door opened, made them shudder, fearing what was about to be revealed. And then, when Mrs. Lan touched the coffin lid, a horrifying surprise struck. The coffin lid had popped open, and indeed, the tomb had been invaded by thousands of termite nests and ants living inside. Thus, thanks to that dream warning, the woman was able to be moved to a new home. And those are the things grave exhumers encounter, but besides that, there are also those who become bold for money. Go grave robbing and end up suffering tragic karmic retribution. It was one night, Roy and 8 other young men in the village went bird trapping, then returned to cook and drink. While sitting and chatting idly, suddenly one person in the group said, if they kept hanging around the village fields, they would never prosper in life. Then the whole group sat discussing all sorts of things, devising all kinds of ways to change it. Many jobs and ideas have been proposed, but all require money. While everyone here is starting from scratch, One person in the group suddenly suggested the idea of digging up graves to take antiques and sell them. Doing so would quickly earn money without needing upfront capital. This plan sounded appealing and easy to implement immediately without any funds. The whole group decided to carry out the plan the very next night, assigning each person to prepare grave-digging tools, and everyone went home. The next day, all 9 quietly prepared their tools, then gathered at the village entrance to execute the plan. It was 8 in the evening when people were sound asleep. The perfect time for shady deeds. After gathering, the 9 split into 2 groups. Some digging, some covering, they dug up about 20 graves in total, but found nothing that could be called antiques. At dawn, fearing discovery, they all went home together. Later, noticing no villagers, discussed the dug-up graves. The youths decided to seize the chance and dig the rest, thinking gold, silver, or antiques might be in the remaining graves. Over half the village graves had been dug up by this group, and they might have dug up the entire area if not surrounded and caught by villagers soon after. After being discovered, the village elder punished each with a pig, a boat of rice wine, and 2 cows to slaughter for a village feast. However, that punishment was just the beginning of a series of tragedies the youths had to bear. The first to die tragically was Choi. After the grave-digging punishment, he suddenly changed temperament from lively and helpful to completely withdrawn. For weeks, he said nothing, only confiding to friends he felt guilty for initiating the grave-digging. Then one day, Choi lay bedridden. His family sold belongings to nearby shamans, but it was futile, and he passed away half a year later. Similarly, Soon also died suddenly. That day, he returned from fieldwork, ate dinner, went to bed, and was found stiff. 2 others in the group one day went to an elder's house to drink, recalled the past, saying they were haunted by their wrongdoing. The next day, they disappeared far away, fate unknown. God, dawn. From then on, this man became simple-minded, always babbling about death. His family repeatedly invited shamans for rituals, but to no avail, resigned there. Occasionally, he would go alone to the cemetery area, crying and begging for forgiveness. As for Joy, after being caught, every time he went to bed, S house was fine, but at home every morning he woke up with stomach pain. Medical exams found no cause. At first Joy thought it was just fright, but when he learned the 3 others in the group had similar symptoms, he panicked. Originally a hot-tempered drinker, now he changed completely, from a hothead. He became gentle to the point of unwitting simplicity. Not just Joy, he also became sickly, plagued by constant illness. From a healthy youth, now he's skinny and frail, no different from an old man. Without anyone telling them, these youths now only want to do good for the village. Truly, spiritual matters are not to be joked about. Thus, many mysterious things can be seen around this grave robbing story, right? What do you think about this profession? If offered the highest salary, would you be willing to do it? Please leave a comment below to let D2T know. Thank you for listening. Goodbye and see you again.
If this file opened your eyes, subscribe and open the next case.